Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. Arguably the biggest game of week one, and certainly the one with the biggest playoff implications, comes on Saturday night in Columbus, Ohio, as number 5 Notre Dame travels to take on number 2 Ohio State. A top 5 matchup to kick off the year. It can't get any better than that. But many people have been quick to write off Notre Dame, which leads us to ask the question, do the Fighting Irish have a fighting chance on Saturday night? That is what we're about to answer right now. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys, ready to break down and predict this top 5 matchup between the Fighting Irish and the Buckeyes. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. Guys, we have our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country for one of the lowest prices in the entire country. So make sure to go check those out. Sign up today. Become a part of our Discord server so you can talk college football with us year long, guys. Again, anytime, any place, over any topic, we want you to become a part of our GE Nation. So take a look for all those things, again, down in the description below, and sign up today. So we take a look at Notre Dame and Ohio State, two teams that both went 11-2 last year. The Fighting Irish losing the Fiesta Bowl to Oklahoma State. Ohio State being one win away from going to the Big Ten Championship and probably the college football playoff, but falling to Michigan in the season finale, ultimately winning the Rose Bowl over Utah, one of the best Rose Bowl games we've ever seen. So we have two great teams here, two top 5 teams fighting for playoff berths all year long. Who's going to emerge victorious? We take a look at the offenses first. Notre Dame enters this game with a solid offense, one that's probably not getting nearly enough attention, right? Fighting Irish were 45th nationally on offense last year. They returned their entire offensive line, very strong, probably one of the best in the country. They returned their star tight end, Michael Mayer, who will be one of the best tight ends in the country. They have a relatively experienced wide receiver core, but not a whole lot of depth there, but still experienced. The biggest question, obviously, is quarterback. They have a new quarterback in Tyler Buchner, and how he fares in week one, first start at Ohio State at night, not necessarily ideal, but how he fares over the course of the year will dictate whether Notre Dame can win this game at Ohio State or whether they're going to fall short and maybe ultimately fall short of the college football playoff. Buckner's got very great dual threat ability. He's got to work on his passing skills a little bit. Only attempted 35 passes last year, had 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, but his dual threat ability could be key in this game against the Buckeyes, and his ability not only to pick up yards, but the ability to also extend play. So a very tough outing for a brand new quarterback, a sophomore QB finally taking over the reins for the Fighting Irish, but it's going to be a great test for him to really see what he's made of. When you look at Ohio State, their offense is a little bit different than Notre Dame's because Ohio State's is the best offense in the country, and there's no doubt about it. The Buckeyes were number 1 in offense last year, first in scoring at 45.7 points per game, first in yards, 561.5 yards per game. And they basically return everybody that contributed to those numbers, right? Yes, they lose Chris Olave. Yes, they lose Garrett Wilson. But they return their star quarterback in C.J. Stroud, who threw for over 4,400 yards and 44 touchdowns last year. They returned Travion Henderson, who rushed for over 1,200 yards last year. They returned Jackson Smith-Njigba. They returned Marvin Harrison Jr. They have a very solid and talented and deep offensive line. This offense is loaded. Loaded with talent. Very good, very tough to stop. Very fast, very electric, very high scoring. They're going to be very tough to keep up with, and as we just mentioned, very tough to stop. And unfortunately, Marcus Freeman's Fighting Irish, that's what they're tasked with doing on the road. In Columbus at night, they're going to be tasked with stopping this Ohio State offense. And you look at Notre Dame's defense, guys. 15th in scoring last year, 43rd overall. Not bad. Marcus Freeman came to Notre Dame as defensive coordinator as one of the better minds, defensive minds, in all of college football. His track record and obviously his relationship and passion for the players and passion for the game has led him to this head coaching position with the Fighting Irish. That's why he was promoted from D.C. to head coach when Brian Kelly left for LSU. And he's a great defensive mind. He went out and hired another great defensive mind, and Al Golden, to be the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame. Al Golden, of course, the former head coach at Miami many years ago, has experience in the NFL, most recently with the Cincinnati Bengals, fresh off a Super Bowl appearance. So he brings tons of experience and knowledge to this Notre Dame defense that's loaded. Let's keep in mind, they do have to stop this offense of Ohio State's, but they're loaded with talent. They have Isaiah Foskey on the defensive line. He is 9.5 sacks away from breaking the Notre Dame sack record. 9.5 sacks away. He will probably get that this season. You have Jason Adamalola back on the defensive line as well. The linebacking core, extremely solid for Notre Dame. They added Brandon Joseph, the star safety in from Northwestern, practically replacing Kyle Hamilton off to the NFL, practicing one great safety with another. So this Notre Dame team, guys, has the pieces to slow down Ohio State, has the pieces to get some stops and give their young offense an opportunity to put up some points and hang in this game. You look at Ohio State defensively, last year that was their Achilles heel. Offense was great, defense was not. The Buckeyes allowed over 30 points 5 times last year. Ryan Day recognized this, went out and got himself a new defensive coordinator also in Jim Knowles from Oklahoma State. Another brilliant defensive mind, posted a top 10 defense with the Cowboys last year. You look at Ohio State's numbers. 59th in defense last year, 97th versus the pass. Jim Knowles is going to try to correct all of that immediately, and I think he will. I think we'll see a drastic difference in Ohio State's defense already in week 1. They should already have a stronger and more experienced secondary, one that I really don't think is going to get too horribly tested with Tyler Buchner and this Notre Dame offense. Obviously, that's how Notre Dame's going to have to win this game, is through the air. They're not going to have much success on the ground, but I don't think the secondary is going to get tested that bad. I don't think that Tyler Buchner is going to be that big of a threat for this Ohio State defense. So again, new coordinators on both sides of the ball. Al Golden for Notre Dame, Jim Knowles for Ohio State. Both teams have talent across the board. Notre Dame, for me, owns the edge in the front 7. Right now, I actually might give the slight edge to Ohio State in the secondary, just from the experience standpoint. Both teams, though, are talented on both sides of the ball. But at the end of the day, guys, to me, who are we going to pick to win this game? It's a no-brainer. It's Ohio State all the way. The Buckeyes own home field advantage, and it's a big advantage. They own the offensive advantage significantly. And defensively, I would give the edge overall to Notre Dame. I genuinely would, despite the addition of Jim Knowles for Ohio State. I like Notre Dame's defense across the board, from the defensive line all the way to the secondary. But I don't think the defensive line is going to get that much pressure on C.J. Stroud because Ohio State's offensive line is that good. I do think Notre Dame's secondary is going to have some weaknesses in it. It's going to get exploited time and time again by this electric passing attack that is no offense to Notre Dame. I don't think many teams are going to be able to shut down this passing attack. Ohio State, guys, without a doubt, is the clear-cut winner on Saturday night. So much so, I think they win this game comfortably by about 2 touchdowns. I genuinely believe that. It could be worse. I know the spread right now, last time I checked, was around 17 points. That's a pretty big spread for a top 5 matchup. Things could get ugly quick in Columbus. First quarter, a couple fighters feeling each other out. It'll be close. By midway through the third quarter, I believe this game will be out of reach for the Fighting Irish. Ohio State wins. It does not mean that Notre Dame is overrated. It does not mean that they are a bad team. It does not mean that they were not worthy of that 5th spot. To me, it clearly shows how good this Ohio State team is. We all know it's coming. It's going to happen on Saturday. This Ohio State team will arguably get past maybe their toughest test this season, take down Notre Dame in week 1, and the path to the playoff for the Buckeyes will begin. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below. Again, go sign up for those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. Go sign up for those today. Go join our free Discord server to talk college football with us year-round. Again, we want you to become a part of our GE Nation. So go sign up and become a part of it today before the season really gets going. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.